Welcome to this video series on online business strategy. Hi, I'm Trudy Rankin, and in today's video, I'm talking with Nick Thakral, the founder of one of my favorite online tools, LeadsHook. Now, Nick's got a really deep background in marketing and both online and offline marketing, and he's forgotten more about marketing than I have ever learned. So today, Nick is going to be sharing his thoughts on developing a different kind of marketing edge. Let's get started.
But we will never drag the product down to become another Me Too product. Otherwise, there was no competitive edge to rely upon, which is another factor, I guess, in marketing is don't get out of bed unless it's got an edge.
Yes, and do you want to talk a little bit about, just be a little bit more specific? You've already sort of hinted at it a little bit. Maybe talk a little bit more about that edge that LeadsHook gives you.
Okay, yeah. So specifically, what the product allows you to do is to create many permutation combinations of your final results that you want to give someone. So in the hair example, if there's 30,000 combinations, you can create 30,000 lead magnets. You can create 30,000 pitches to sell the product. That's extremely powerful because even today, most people just will give you one version. Or if they do, they'll create 3 versions and you get 1 of 3. Well, I can create 30,000, which means even if I'm a terrible copywriter, the fact that I can create 30,000, so i.e. get a much better alignment of what you just told me about yourself and how I can frame and position the product to that, means that I don't need to be the world's best copywriter. And so what I'm doing it in alignment compensates for lack of copy skills. While if I can only give one version, then yeah, I will need to be a bloody good copywriter, especially in a hyper competitive market. So that's the difference. And I don't know, does that sort of answer the question?
Yeah, it does. It does answer the question, but I think there's more to it a little bit. Well, at least certainly from my experience of using it, is that there's that in it's the personalization. It's making the ability to make people feel that you're speaking directly to them, and yeah, that relates back to the copy, but it also is sort of separate to that as well.
Correct.
And I think that's important.
Yeah. So I suppose if you're looking at LeadsHook as a product, what it allows you to do is to pass data to the platform from any third-party traffic system, could be your ads and or email, whatever, and immediately the very first thing they see can be personalized. Yeah, so there's obviously elements of that. And then as they are answering more questions, you can take them down different paths. So there's personalization in the flow. And then you can, whatever you learned previously, you can regurgitate it back to them, saying like, as a guy in your 40s who is not divorced, yada, yada, yada. So you can have that sort of language as well. And at the same time, use whatever data you've collected previously to then create more content on the fly to even have a deeper level of personalization. Yeah. So there's, I guess it's like an onion where there's deeper and deeper levels of personalization, which is why like the advanced users who transition to one of the lower layers, such as yourself, it's very, very hard to now go somewhere else. Yeah. Because a lot of products will say, oh, we do quizzes. Yeah, so if you're only looking for a quiz, you can do that in Leads. You can just drag 5 boxes and it'll be a quiz. But now you say, well, I want to make an API call halfway through my decision tree and get data from a third-party platform. Well, that all of a sudden becomes a challenge for the other system. You're going to need a developer and maybe 6 weeks of your life.
And a lot of cash.
And a lot of cash and a bit of hair loss. Or something like that. While in LeadsHook, it's like a 10-second thing. You drag and drop a node, you put in your API credentials, and you're done. And so what it's allowed LeadsHook to do is to be able to offer people so much more opportunity to extract more cash or more money or whatever, create a much better outcome for the customers. So I was recently talking to someone who's using it in a very innovative way. I hadn't seen this before, which is the other part I love about being able to provide so much depth, is that you'll see use cases that teach you. You hadn't thought of that, but you created something so flexible that someone thinks of using it in a specific manner that you hadn't thought of. So what he's doing is they're learning a bit more about their customer, and he's making an API call into a third-party marketplace to bring back prices and products that match the person.
Yes.
So previously, what he would do is he would get the lead and try and just sell the lead to somebody. He's actually able to sell the actual product itself. And so as a result, rather than making 10% of what he could have made, he's making the full 100%.
Mm.
But then those who are not ready to transact yet, they go into a nurture sequence. And then he tries to bring them back and convert them at the full price. And then after that, if it doesn't work, then he sends them to somebody who's going to try and sell them over the phone or whatever.
Okay.
Which he's extracting the top 2-3 layers of the cream. And then now what's left over is, in his opinion, are like the bad leads. But they're bad because they didn't convert through electronic communication.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's sending them on to somebody else who's going to get on the phone with them. And that's what they wanted anyway.
Yes.
But the process of taking them through the funnel of the customer journey means that they're so much more qualified for the guy he's selling it to, which means he's a beneficiary of this guy's failure.
Which is fascinating because he's
yeah, exactly. Which is just, I was like, wow. So an ultimate win-win situation here.
Yeah. One person's bad lead turns into somebody else's gold.
Correct. While if he had just taken the lead and passed it over, he would have been a bad lead for him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, so in a roundabout way, it's kind of like failure is a good thing. as in my failure is really good for the person who's buying the leads, or the person who's going to, because they come pre-nurtured, sort of I don't know, pre-cooked, I guess, and ready for the harvesting, rather than sending them over and have someone having to then nurture them, which is what's happening a lot in the online world, where they grab the leads and just shove them straight away to a client.
Yeah.
And so now the focus is a lot on is my campaign good?
Mm-hmm.
While I think a better approach to take is like, nah, I'll take anybody who's remotely interested about this, and then through the decision tree process, learn where they are in the buying continuum, and then give them a nurture sequence specific to their state of mind, and where they are in terms of their propensity to consume today, and then slowly graduate them to the point where they're ready to buy. And if they don't buy, the fact that they've been nurtured means that they're really valuable to somebody else.
Yeah.
Our common friend John McCarthy does. That's his way of doing things.
Yes.
And so that's what LeadsHook allows you to do also, is learn where the person is in the buying continuum. How far along are they to ready to transact? Because it's true that you may have 100 people who want to buy, but some need to are a little bit skeptical of the claims you're making. Some need to discuss it with their family or friends or whoever it be. Some are just busy. I'm going on a holiday, so I don't have time to look at this. And so there are many reasons why someone is further back in the buying continuum. Not always due to their fault or the fact that they're not educated. That could be a reason, but the other one could be just the circumstances in which you find them now. Like if someone's going through a divorce or some sort of familial issues, or has coronavirus or whatever, they may need. Well, it's not like it's a bad prospect. It's just, well, not today.
Yes,
he's not a good prospect.
Yes,
so he's not universally a bad prospect. He's not best prospect for this point in time. And that's missing from a lot of marketing is taught out there. It's very static. It's like bad lead, good, I want to sell, bad, I don't want. I'm like, no, there's another layer there, which is time and circumstance and all that sort of stuff. And so,
I think there's at least based on my sort of, what I know of how you work and how you think, I think there's also another layer there as well. And that is that there's no need to send anybody away with nothing in their hands. They come to your website, they go through, your decision trees. And as you said, depending on where they are in that buying continuum, you send them away with something of value. Correct. It's either more knowledge about themselves, or it's a lead magnet that's suitable for where they are right then. And so you're not throwing money or leads away. You're actually maximizing them all the time.
Yeah. In fact, one of the best ways to provide someone with a lot of value is to just generate a dynamically generated lead magnet. Because what I find quite painful now is that, or with a lot of guys that I'm working with, is that they'll give someone like a 30-40 page ebook. Well, a 30-40 page ebook may seem like just download it. It's a free ebook. No, it's not free, because I got to spend half an hour of my life now to consume it, and then work out what elements of this are worthy of further investigation and or implementation or execution or consideration or whatever you want to call it. And what that means, I need to extract that out. And now I got to spend even more time on it to get it into a form that I can digest it or apply it or execute it, and then finally go and execute it. So while the ebook was free, the cognitive cost and the time taken to consume is not free. And so if you can do a dynamic generated lead magnet, then what you can do is ask a bunch of questions and saying, oh, cool, of the 30 pages that we have, only 2 paragraphs are relevant to you. And if these 2 paragraphs are the only 2 paragraphs you need, then, well, you know what, I'm going to make your life a little bit easier as well, saying, here's what 2 paragraphs are about, and here's the action step you want to take right now, and this is the tool that you need, and this is how you end up doing it. By the way, if you're looking for help on this, come buy my stuff. And so you can really just take something as simple as an ebook and somehow smack them over the head with lots of emails to try and buy. Just break it down for them, like read the book for them, I guess it's probably another way of putting it, and give them just the bare essence that is going to move the needle for them, or that is going to is going to give them the biggest value. Because now immediately he's not wasting time, or she's not wasting time. They're going to consume what the hell you gave them, rather than the ebook just sitting on their hard drive in the in the downloads folder to be consumed at never.
And never.
Yeah, to be consumed never. And therefore now when you email, they haven't consumed the ebook, so you're just a guy who's bombarding the inbox. But if they had consumed whatever you gave them, which could be immediate, then all of a sudden there's context around why your emails matter.